Monday afternoon was the start of the 2024 regular legislative session, the third session this year. Lawmakers have 3 months to pour over more than 1,000 bills, ranging from additional crime bills to insurance reform. Though no specifics were given, Governor Jeff Landry implied support for insurance, education, and conservative budgeting plans. Here's a wrap-up of the governor's address. After 2 special sessions, the legislature returned to the Capitol once again, this time for the 2024 regular session, making it the 3rd time lawmakers convened this year.
We won't fix crime if we don't fix our schools. Louisiana is failing our students, and the statistics could not be more alarming. 70% of our 4th graders can't read, and 80% of 8th graders can't do basic math. We all know that the foundation of a good education comes down to teaching the basics: reading, writing, and math.
Governor Landry's speech was quick and to the point. The legislature would focus on 3 major issues: insurance, the budget, and education.
My main motivation, honestly, is when we collect tax dollars, a huge portion of that goes to educating our kids.
Representative Julie Emerson echoed the governor's call for education reform. She's in the process of filing a bill that would launch an education savings account program, which would ultimately give families access to taxpayer dollars to cover some private school costs.
And we just want to empower parents to have more of a choice in how their children are educated.
But the governor didn't give many specifics about what bills he'd support or how he planned to tackle the issues.
Let's run a government that now works for, not against, the people of our great state. God bless you. Thank you. God bless Louisiana and our great citizens. Thank you.
Though the session isn't a fiscal one, lawmakers still have to prepare for what could be a fiscal cliff next year, caused in part by the roll-off of a temporary sales tax. The legislative auditor is projecting a $500 million shortfall in the budget that needs filling. Otherwise, the deficit could spell disaster for the state.
Hoping that going into next year, that shortfall, we can lessen it by doing some things with the budget this year and addressing some of that shortfall.
Representative Jack McFarland is on the House Appropriations Committee. He's tasked with finding solutions for the deficit. Now, the legislature could swing in a few different directions to avoid a fiscal cliff. They could extend the temporary sales tax, make cuts to the budget, or find alternative sources of revenue. McFarland says the latter is the option the Republican-dominated legislature will most likely go with.
And we want to look at all avenues possible. Additionally, we see corporate income tax is up. For the last several years, we have collected above the $600 million that's necessary. That money has been going into our surplus. So with the additional increases in corporate income tax, the sales tax that we currently operate under, not just the 0.45, but the other 4 cents, is collecting more dollars than prior years as well.
McFarland says it's also possible the expected deficit could lower before next year, but that all depends on what happens here during this session. Out of the more than 1,000 bills filed, insurance stands out as another major issue lawmakers have to tackle. A series of insurance bills prioritizing businesses were filed, some already receiving praise from Insurance Commissioner Tim Temple. His goal is to limit hurdles for insurance companies who want to hike up rates or drop customers at will. Temple maintains that this will create a competitive environment promoting fairer prices. But Democrats are raising concerns.
At the end of the day, I have a fear that we'll just be adding more policies to citizens, which is the exact thing that we do not want. So I look forward to working with the commissioner on that proposal. I think there's some compromise that we can come to where it would prioritize our homeowners and our small businesses, but at the same time lead to increased competition in the state.
Aside from the more typical list of agenda items, the governor also hopes to hold a constitutional convention.
According to the Council of State Governments, Louisiana ranks among the longest of all state constitutions, having 72,000 words in it. In less than 50 years, the legislature has proposed over 300 amendments, of which 210 have been incorporated into the 1974 Constitution.
Our state constitution hasn't been updated since 1974. Though some Democrats and Republicans agree that the document needs an edit, there isn't a clear consensus on what needs to be changed.
I think everybody would agree that the Constitution does need to be revised to some aspect, but given what I've seen so far from Governor Landry's administration, I'm really terrified of them leading the effort to rewrite our state's constitution.
I am actually really excited about that opportunity. I can't tell you exactly what's going to come out of it, but I'm excited about the opportunity to maybe go back to the drawing board.
The bill for the convention has not been filed just yet, but it's expected to be formally added to the list of bills next week.